So today I get a letter typical of what I get almost every day from somebody. A lady writes me who's been following paleo diet, and the usual, at first I lost 5 or 6 pounds and then it stopped losing weight almost immediately. This happens on every diet. What should I do? Yada yada. Here's the thing. We keep looking short-term windows of time and we tell ourselves something's working if it adheres to what our concept of progress is, which just isn't true. So what happens in diets like this, paleo and other diets that restrict starches and carbohydrates, once you run out of those carbohydrates, initially what you lose in weight loss is water. So you start telling yourself, oh, you're making good progress. And I have to tell these people that weight loss is not the same as fat loss, and you have to understand the biology of weight control. What is happening on the scale isn't telling you everything, it's telling you something. So stop equating weight loss with fat loss. Now with diets like paleo and whatnot, you're also working out pretty soon as you enter a state called hypohydration or chronic dehydration, where no matter how much you drink, you can't saturate the tissue anymore with water, and tissues love being in a hydrated state. That's the only way that anabolic processes happen. So you're in this hypohydration state, and what happens is performance starts to decline in your workouts, maybe even overall. You start feeling a little tired, a little listless. It's not working anymore. This is a common complaint of low-carb diets. As time progresses, you're so gung-ho at first, oh, this is really working, and you're confusing weight loss with fat loss, not realizing you're putting yourself in a hypohydrated state, which leads to chronic dehydration, which again dismantles performance. So you're not even getting optimal training results anymore either. And of course weight loss plateaus, and then here's the thing, the long-term consequences of that is being in a hypohydrated state sends a direct message to the brain and metabolic response that cells aren't hydrated, they're not volumized, because water is held with glycogen and you're depleting yourself of glycogen. So what happens? Your metabolism responds. It lowers itself. It starts sacrificing tissue. So instead of having an optimized metabolism, you start getting a slow and sluggish metabolism, and that's why weight loss stagnates, and you start getting that skinny fat feeling. So again, in the short term, diets like paleo and stuff you have to consider. These are just fad diets. I'll get into this on another time, how paleo doesn't even live up to its own name, which means it's disingenuous to begin with. And you can find lots of discussions on that on TED Talks and whatnot from actual anthropologists who talk about how Paleolithic man actually ate. Besides that, confusing weight loss with progress, confusing weight loss with fat loss is the most common mistake, and it's been lasting for decades in this industry. You have to learn how to read proper biofeedback cues. Low carb diets lead to a state of hypohydration, chronic dehydration, which affect performance and affect mood, mental acuity, energy, motivation, all these things. So what you're thinking of that is a short-term gain is actually a long-term consequence. So again, I caution you when you think that the scale is telling you relevant information. It's just telling you information. And how to read biofeedback is much more important than what the weight scale dictates. So again, weight loss does not equal fat loss. Stop with the fad diets, whatever they're called, even if they sound scientific. Just because they have books written about them doesn't make them formidable level of science in terms of understanding the biology of weight control. So weight loss does not equal fat loss. Weight loss can be consequential for long-term weight control instead of being a sign of progress, and you've got to start learning that. And the key to that is if you have initial dramatic weight loss and then pretty quick stagnation or plateau of weight loss, you've got a problem. You're not making progress. You just think you were making progress, and that produces a state of hypohydration. So stay tuned. Write me your letters. I'll continue to get into this stuff in future clips.